I love my area of Sydney, the Hills District, an area about 30 kilometres northwest of Sydney CBD. I've lived here my whole life, and I'm proud to have. Suburbia doesn't get much more beautiful than this.
The Hills is a beautiful, tree-filled area that's been booming in population for decades. But there's one thing that the Hills has long suffered from: a chronic lack of public transport. For decades, the Hills was a public transport desert, with next to no heavy rail access. To call the area hard to get to would be an understatement. That all changed in 2019, when the long-awaited Sydney Metro Northwest finally opened, with 8 stations located in the Hills area and surrounds. The rail project had been promised for years, and when it was finally opened, it was long overdue. So, how did the Hills cope for the years before the Metro opened?
Bus rapid transit is how, and we'll be learning everything about it in today's video. I'm Sharath, and welcome to Building Beautifully.
Before I continue, a few things. I've just launched my Ko-fi page, and I would absolutely appreciate any support you can give me. You can just give me a small one-off donation and buy me a coffee, or you can subscribe to me for a monthly fee and gain access to behind-the-scenes footage, early video access, shoutouts in my videos, and even monthly live Q&As. I would be so grateful for your support. And also, an obligatory please subscribe if you haven't already, and do consider checking out the rest of my channel, your go-to YouTube destination for all things city planning, after the video.
Okay, so what is bus rapid transit? Good question, astute viewer. Bus rapid transit, or BRT, is a bus-based public transport system designed to have much more capacity, reliability and frequency than a conventional bus system. In simpler terms, it's usually when buses have their own dedicated right-of-way, instead of having to share the road with cars, making travel faster and easier for the commuter.
Sydney has 4 BRT routes. First, there's the M2 busway, which opened in 1997 with the M2 Hills motorway itself. The busway has 4 dedicated bus stops. It does not have its own dedicated section of roadway, like the next few BRTs I'm going to list. Rather, it has dedicated bus lanes. This does make it more debatable whether it actually counts as BRT or not. However, there's very few other forms of high-frequency, high-speed bus services in Sydney that run on motorways like the Hills busway, so I've chosen to include it. Next, there's the Liverpool to Parramatta T-Way, which opened in 2006, linking Liverpool to Parramatta as its name suggests, with 35 stops. Then there's the Northwest T-Way, which opened in 2007, linking Rouse Hill to Blacktown and Parramatta, with 30 stops. It was actually meant to be extended to Castle Hill, however unfortunately this never went ahead. Finally, there's the B Line, which opened in 2017, linking Sydney CBD to the Northern Beaches, another very public transport deficient area of Sydney. It has 10 stops.
There's varying tiers of bus rapid transit in Sydney. The T-ways, for example, have, for the most part, their own dedicated sections of road. The Northwest T-way runs parallel to Windsor Road and Old Windsor Road, and it even has several bridges to allow it to go over roads and bypass traffic lights. This massive bridge over Abbott Road is an excellent example. Then there's dedicated bus lanes. The M2 busway has a dedicated bus median that stretches along a good portion of the motorway. Indeed, it is the only motorway in Sydney that actually has bus stops on the motorway itself. Crazy! To get onto the motorway, there's a series of bridges at all of the stops but one. This one, the Oaks Road stop, has a tunnel instead.
There's obviously a lot of BRT routes in Sydney, but let's focus on the BRT routes that run through the Hills. There are 6 main focal points that these bus routes originate from, such as Rouse Hill and Castle Hill.
So now we know what bus rapid transit is. Logically, the question simply has to be asked. Why do we build bus rapid transit? I'm glad you asked. There are three main reasons.
First reason, cost. Bus rapid transit is much cheaper to build than heavy rail. And, well, why wouldn't it be? There's no tunnels involved, there's no expensive rolling stock or blasting or track laying needed, there's no need for massive fancy stations. All you need is to build a road and buy some buses and boom, you're done. For this reason, governments around the world love to build bus rapid transit. They're just so convenient to build, and yet they still benefit commuters around the stops. Second reason, flexibility. Buses can go anywhere, making them very convenient. They don't have to stick to a track. They can go on any road, anytime. For that reason, so many different permutations and combinations are possible with bus rapid transit. Just have a look at this map of all the buses running from the hills to Sydney CBD. A bus from Bella Vista to the city, a bus from Castle Hill to the city, a bus from Cherrybrook to the city, a bus from West Pennant Hills to the city. Just think about how much wider the coverage that a bus can get compared to heavy rail. Third reason, compromise. BRT combines the best features of heavy rail with the best features of buses, and therefore is able to gain the best of both worlds. BRT is cheap and flexible, but since it often has its own dedicated rights of ways, it can be almost as fast as trains. It doesn't get stuck in traffic the way that regular buses do. It's able to take the best part about trains, its speed, and combine it with the best part about buses, its inexpensiveness and flexibility.
Personally, I love my local BRT. I use it all the time to get to Sydney CBD. From the M2 Oaks Road BRT stop, right here, it takes me only 25 minutes by bus to get to the city. Compare that to nearby Cherrybrook Metro Station, which would take me 50 minutes. There's a clear winner here, and it's not the Metro. Okay, so BRT is cheap, BRT is flexible, BRT is easy to build and operate, and 100% of commuters I've surveyed who regularly use BRT love it. Personally, I love my local BRT. It's no wonder governments around the world, particularly in poorer developing nations of Latin America, are turning to BRT. Unlike BRT, trains are expensive to build. Unlike BRT, trains cannot go anywhere, but rather have to stick to fixed tracked corridors. Therefore, it's no wonder that the Hills never built a railway, given it clearly does not need one. After all, BRT is the golden bullet, the solution to all of our problems. There's a catch, isn't there?
Yep, of course there is. Because the Hills did get its own dedicated railway line, the Sydney Metro Northwest, in 2019, remember? For years, the Hills has had one of the highest car ownership rates and one of the lowest public transport usage rates in all of Sydney. And that's despite its abundance in dedicated busways. Clearly, the BRT was not enough for the Hills, given that it now has a railway. So the question simply has to be asked, why not?
I've told you the ways that BRT is better than trains, but it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Let's start with the simple fact that buses are far smaller than trains. Most of the Hills BRT buses only have capacity for 80 people. Compare that to the Hills Metro rolling stock, which can carry 1,100 people.
Once we do a few basic calculations, we can clearly see that 1,100 is bigger than 80. It's no wonder then that for years the Hills BRT was massively congested. People at the last stop before the city, Oaks Road, frequently would be met by completely full buses, and they'd have to wait until an empty bus finally showed up. And that's... what's the word I'm looking for? Bad.
This is compounded by the fact that buses are less comfortable than trains. Most people are far happier to stand on a moving train than on a moving bus. Buses move far more unpredictably and sharply. Look how much my camera's shaking. It doesn't happen like this on a train.
On top of that, the flexibility of buses, which are able to go on roads like cars, is a double-edged sword. On the M2 busway, consider the fact that BRT-only dedicated lanes only extend from Balcombe Hills to Beecroft, before ending. From there, buses just have to share the road with the thousands of cars heading into the city. Because this is a BRT, there's no impetus on governments to build dedicated bus lanes. Unlike trains, which need track, buses don't need dedicated roadways. Dedicated bus lanes can just start and end wherever the government feels like it, and that's precisely what happens with the Hills BRT.
So the one potential benefit of the Hills BRT, that it can be as fast as trains, is immediately squandered. When I said it only takes my bus 25 minutes to get to the city, I didn't mention that that's without traffic. That journey can become far longer in peak hour. Train journey length times are far more consistent.
There's some other problems with the Hills BRT. The frequency of many routes is appalling. The 652X, for example, goes from West Pennant Hills to Sydney CBD, but it only runs on weekdays, unidirectionally, only to the CBD in morning and only to West Pennant Hills in the afternoon. Frequency can make or break transit, and unfortunately, many BRT routes are broken because of this. I should mention that many of these routes were cut in frequency after the metro opened. Still, I do feel my area would benefit from increased frequency.
Finally, perhaps one of my biggest grievances with BRT has to be entirely centered around one key mantra. Don't build BRT where trains would make more sense. You see, in the era that the Hills Motorway and the Northwest T-Way were built, the Hills train line had already been promised for decades. Instead, the area was given nothing more than buses. Buses were the cheaper alternative, the easier alternative, the lesser alternative. It was easy to just promise the area dedicated bus lanes, even if those buses didn't run frequently enough to keep up with demand, even if those bus lanes didn't stretch all the way into the city, even though commuter demand in the ever-growing region had long surpassed the supply of buses. At least the Hills Metro was eventually built. That is to say, in a big region like the Hills, BRT can never be expected to permanently stand in for the role of heavy rail.
BRT is not a cut and dry alternative to heavy rail, simple as that. Its strengths are most often won from serving low-density routes with patronage too low to warrant heavy rail services. The Liverpool to Parramatta T-Way is a good example of this, with its rather unusual circumferential route that doesn't even go to the CBD. There's not significant demand for a train line along this route, especially given lots of its route goes through industrial areas. And so, a T-Way more than suffices in the meantime.
Now that the Sydney Metro Northwest is open, however, demand for Hills BRT buses is lower. But considering it used to be way too high, this is a good thing. As a regular user, I would say its usage is at a more sustainable level now than it used to be.
In this sense, the Hills BRT is able to conveniently supplement the Sydney Metro for those who live closer to a BRT stop than a metro station, such as myself. There's more options, and if you ask me, that is what good public transport is all about. So, what does the future hold for Sydney's BRT? Well, the New South Wales government has committed to establishing BRT from Penrith, Liverpool and Campbelltown to the new Western Sydney Airport, opening in 2026. An airport that somehow manages to sneak a mention into every single one of my videos. I personally think this is an excellent example of BRT implementation, given that initial demand along this corridor will not be high enough to justify a heavy rail. BRT is an adequate compromise, until the proposed metro is built here. Of course, no one at all seems to have actually started planning this BRT.
BRT is an excellent mode of transport, but like any type of transit, it isn't without its flaws. The Hills suffered for years due to its lack of adequate public transport, but now that it has a convenient heavy rail line, reinforced by a network of bus rapid transit routes, my area is finally becoming far more accessible than your average piece of suburbia. People are finally being given options, and that's amazing. Here's to the future of BRT in Sydney. Thanks for watching.
If you enjoyed this video, please do consider subscribing. Oh, and I'd really appreciate any support you can give me over at Ko-fi.